We welcome you to Atlanta, Georgia and SunTrust Park, where another partial sellout crowd is filing in for Game 1 of our brief two-game series between the Braves and the Philadelphia Phillies. Got to find a way to solve those fighting Phils tonight. Hi again, friends. Chip Carey along with Tom Glavine and Joe Simpson. Welcome back to the ballpark, where the Braves fresh off a 2 out of 3 series win against the Miami Marlins. Joe, now take aim at a Phillies club that has tormented the Braves all summer long.
Well, if you can take heart in a 2-1 record against the Phillies here at home, you'll take it right now against the Phillies, because Atlanta is 0-7 against them up in Philadelphia. It's hard to figure out why the Braves are 2-9 against them. They are a last place club, but the Braves are not pitching well. They're not hitting with men in scoring position. That pretty much sums it up.
So, Tom Glavine, the Braves want to turn things around against the Phillies. Julio Teheran wants to turn things around at home.
Well, no question about it. Look, he's struggled here. We've talked about it. We know about it. We know the numbers. It hasn't been good, but he's been pretty good against the Phillies, so that's the good news. 7-5 in his career with a 3.39 ERA, so that part of the equation has been good. But like you say, the flip side is what he's done here at SunTrust Park. 1-7 with a 6.9 ERA and 14 home runs allowed. So it's kind of one of those good news, bad news things. Hopefully his familiarity and success with the Phillies will overplay his lack of success here at SunTrust Park.
Zach Eflin's got the ball for the Phillies in Game 1. He's just up from the minor leagues, where he was 0-4. Hopefully Atlanta will be smiling at night's end. It's Game 1, Braves and Phillies baseball, coming up from SunTrust Park next. Teheran and the Braves take the field. What at first glance looked to be a pretty humorous situation may not be so. Johan Camargo was making his way to the infield. He jumped over the chalk line and tripped, and he is down and still down.
Well, this is a first for me. Watch behind Julio. Stubbed his toe right into the dirt as he was reaching down to grab some dirt. Freddie, with his hands on his hips, I know wanted to start laughing.
I've never seen that before.
No, me either.
This is awful.
You can see Johan grimacing as he makes his way to the Braves dugout. Ron Washington helping him along with athletic trainer Jim Lovell. So Atlanta's going to have to make an immediate defensive substitution before the game's first pitch. And it is the right leg, and he is putting almost no weight on it as he heads down the stairs. That is unbelievable.
Jace Peterson's going to come in and play short. Here he comes. Oh, it's like he hyperextended his knee. It's like everything locked up.
Went to leap a little bit, and his back foot got caught, and then hyperextended his knee when he landed.
So what a shame. Before a pitch is thrown, the Braves lose Johan Camargo. Jace Peterson will check in, obviously, and play shortstop. And what an emotional roller coaster that's got to be for tonight's starter, Julio Teheran, who, Tom, as you said, hopes to get things back on track here at SunTrust Park.
Yeah, that's certainly not what you're expecting when you're leading your troops out to the mound. But Julio making his 23rd start on the year, 7-9 record, 5.10 ERA. And as we talked about, has had some major struggles here at SunTrust Park. So maybe he can start turning that around here tonight.
Well, one way to do it would be with the Fort Keys. And I think this is, and I heard Brian Jordan talking about this too. And I'm going to back it up with his first key. Be more aggressive. Get after him early in the count. Get ahead in the count. And be more economical. In his last start against the Phillies up there, he only worked 4 2/3 innings, and yet he threw 92 pitches and gave up 8 runs, 7 in 1 inning.
Julio, you might recall, coming off some calf discomfort that he suffered through in his last start here in Atlanta. He tweaked something swinging the bat, could not continue, and lasted 5 innings against the Los Angeles Dodgers through 64 pitches in that game. So we'll see what happens in what's already been an eventful top of the first inning.
I've never seen that happen in the minor leagues anywhere on somebody taking the field.
77 degrees officially at first pitch. Cesar Hernandez rolls one out of play foul. Hernandez riding an 11-game hitting streak for Philadelphia. He has come back from the disabled list in great fashion and hitting .294 for the year. That caught an inside corner, says James Hoy, tonight's home plate umpire. Lifted toward left. Long run, Matt Adams. Still chugging, still coming. Can't get it. It's a fair ball. And Cesar Hernandez is in safely at second with a leadoff double. So give Hernandez a 12-game hitting streak, and that's 18 hits this year against Braves pitching.
Breaking ball, fought off, and slicing. So a long run for Matt. The ball is running away from him. Looks like he got leather on it. Almost caught it. Yeah.
So Julio immediately into the stretch, and he's got to face Freddie Galvis. Galvis hitting .252. He's knocked in 47 runs.
One of the Braves killers for the Phillies is on the DL. Aaron Altair went on the DL with a bad hamstring. He was hitting .351 against Atlanta with 4 homers this year.
Well, he had plenty of company in the Phillies 4-game sweep of the Braves last week. Herrera, Hernandez, Galvis, Altair. Those 4 men combined for 24 hits, 11 RBIs, and 14 runs scored up at Citizens Bank Park. That made Pete McCannon happy. Phillies are 9-2 against Atlanta. They're 40-69 overall. 1-1 pitch is pulled to first. Productive out. Freeman will take it to the bag. And Hernandez at third with one out. We'll bring up Daniel Nava, who gets the start in the outfield tonight. He bats third on the Phillies Toyota starting lineup. Nava has 3 hits in 4 tries so far against Braves pitching this year. Then Michael Franco, their cleanup man. Adubel Herrera in center. Tommy Joseph at first. Nick Williams in right. Cameron Rupp behind the plate. And Zach Eflin just up from Lehigh Valley gets tonight's start. Nava was activated this week. He was on the disabled list with a left hamstring problem. Hitting .311 on the year. And a strike.
That strike one fastball there and that strike one fastball to Galvis, to me, those are that's the pitch that Julio's got to get back in his arsenal and get back in it consistently. That down in the way, bottom of the strike zone on the outer part of the plate. Good pitch.
And aggressive. 0-2.
Well, I mean, sometimes you have, you know, when you talk about aggressiveness and throwing more strikes, I mean, sometimes a lot of times it's the quality of the strike. You know, just because you're throwing strikes, if you're throwing down the ball down the middle, you're not going to have good success. And you know, I think for Julio, like you say, he's got to be on both sides of the plate. His misses have to be in the right spots. If you're going in, you got to miss in, and really just stay out of the heart of the plate.
Runner at third, 1 out, 2 quick strikes for Nava. Here it is, and a nice stop by Kurt Suzuki.
And those misses have been in the middle of the plate lately, Tom. Nava is right on that back line, isn't he?
One ball, 2 strikes. And that's to the left side and into the second deck. And we'll do it again with Daniel Nava.
Phillies have lost 5 of 6 on their road trip after that sweep of the Braves, and their only win was on Sunday in Colorado. Cameron Rupp had a big day.
That's outside. Nava's a great story. Out of Santa Clara University, was an undrafted player. He played in the independent leagues in 2007, was named the MVP of the Golden Baseball League in 2007. Then the Red Sox signed him as a non-drafted free agent. 2 years later, he was in the big leagues in 2010. And he just struck out. Big pitch by Julio. Tied up Daniel Nava. So runner at third, 2 outs.
Yeah, that breaking ball had some bite to it.
Yeah, he tried back foot for strike on an 0-2 pitch, came back to it. A little bit more of a sweep on that one. Got him to chase. Good pitch.
So let's see if Julio can take care of Michael Franco, who leads the Phillies in homers and RBIs. Batting .230 on the season. Fly ball center, but Ender's going to catch that. Julio Teheran, an excellent job to pitch around the leadoff double. Phillies are shut down in the first inning. Here come the Bravos against Zach Eflin. 61 and 59 on the year. Ender Inciarte leads off the Toyota starting 9. Phillips, Freeman, Markakis second, third, and fourth. Kurt Suzuki, Matt Adams. It's Jace Peterson now. Johan Camargo was in the original starting lineup. He got hurt before the first pitch. No word yet on the severity of that injury. And the Braves will face Zach Eflin, who's just up from AAA to make tonight's start.
See his splits. First 3 starts, 0-0 with a 1.89 ERA. Last 5, 0-3 with a 9. So it's been a little bit of a struggle the second go around here.
Yeah, and he was exiled to AAA, and he didn't pitch any better there. His numbers at AAA, he was 0-4 with a 5.17 ERA. But one of his big league wins was against Atlanta. He's pitched well against the Braves last year, and 1 start this year. No decision.
2 earned runs in 16 career innings by Zach Eflin against Atlanta. And his night starts with a strike to Ender Inciarte. Ender's riding high with a 12-game hitting streak, batting .297 for the year. That slapped foul and out of play. The frustrating thing, guys, about that series the Braves played in Philadelphia was certainly that they lost all 4 games, but more so because they had a ton of chances to put a lot of runs on the board and just couldn't get anything on track offensively. So as you said, there have been so many close games head-to-head against the Phillies this year, where for 1 or 2 big hits, this 2-9 record could very easily be 6-3 in favor of the Braves.
Yeah, it could be. 38 men left on in Philly. But home runs have really done the Braves in also against the Phillies up there. They hit 3 in that start against, in Julio's start against them up there.
And it's way outside. Ender working a deep count.
Eflin's a big, tall guy. 6'6", 210 out of Orlando. 92 to 95 fastball and a slider. He's only 23, but he's already been with 3 organizations. Drafted and signed by the Padres, traded to the Dodgers in the Matt Kemp deal, and came over here for Jimmy Rollins.
And he just gave up a leadoff hit. That's a well-earned single by Ender Inciarte. So it's a 13-game streak for Ender, and the Braves are off to a good start in the first inning.
Well, that pitch was outside.
Outside, but a little bit up. Good at bat. Great at bat to start the game off with the Braves.
So here's Brandon. Phillips hitting .400 against the Phillies this year. And .285 overall. Check swing back to the mound. Eflin fires wide at second. Still, what an amazing play by Galvis to catch it and throw off balance to turn the double play.
There were so many things that went wrong, were going wrong with that play, and they still turned it.
I thought this was headed into center field.
Yeah,
one throw.
He got his feet tangled up to begin with, and I'm with you. When you see a guy do that, usually the throw is not good, but it was in the area, and what a great recovery and turn.
What's new? Every time the Braves play the Phillies, Freddie Galvis seems to make an impossible play look routine. He turned an amazing double play against Atlanta up at Citizens Bank Park. So Eflin now, with the bases empty, faces Freddie Freeman, the Braves first baseman, who's knocked in 5 runs in his last 5 games. High drive down the right field line. Did he keep it fair? He did keep it fair. It's a home run for Freeman.
Nice job of keeping it fair on that pitch. A little bit up, but certainly in.
That was Freddie's first career hit against Eflin, and it was his 21st home run. The Braves strike first in the first and lead 1-0. And fouled away. Eflin now surrendered 12 homers in 47 2/3 big league innings. Quickly 0-2 from Markakis. Nick's done some of his best work against the Phillies. This one, those popped up. Will it stay in play for Rupp? He's right at the screen, staggered a bit, but made the play. And that retires the side. Freddie Freeman hit his 21st home run. It comes with 2 outs in the first, and Atlanta leads 1-0 after 1.
Nothing, and we head into the second inning right now. Brandon Phillips at his new home over at third base. I talked to third base coach Ron Washington about it earlier today, and he said the transition for Brandon was easier than it was for Freddie because Freddie's tall and lanky and had to learn to throw from different angles. And he said BP was used to that at second base, and that man has style, he said. And he also said third is an instinctive position. So Wash said he worked with Phillips for one day and showed him everything he could. And then Brandon wanted to come back the next day to work, and Wash told him, no, you're ready, you got this, you know what you're doing. And Chip, Joe, and Tom, I think BP has proven that he can play third and he can play it well, and I think the Braves are excited to give him this opportunity and for him to take advantage of it the way that he has.
Yeah, if you're referring to Brandon Phillips, yeah, and not batting practice, he's done a great job over there. His reactions have been outstanding. It's like he's got his legs under him and a rebirth over there.
Julio Teheran's been staked to a 1-run lead. Odubel Herrera leads off for the Phillies, and that's taken outside, ball 1. Once the calendar turned to June 1st, Odubel Herrera started swinging the bat like Odubel Herrera again. He's hitting .330 since the 1st of June. This guy's always been a tough out for the Braves. He's hit 4 of his 11 homers and has 10 of his 41 RBIs against the Braves this season. Line to right, hard hit ball, and right at Markakis. 1 out.
That's a tough play for any outfielder, but in this case for Nick, because it's hit low and you know it's been hit hard, and you know at some point it's going to start hooking, so you don't want to have it get over your head, but at the same time you got to be ready for it to start sinking, and it did.
Tommy Joseph has a 16-homer year so far. He's knocked in 54 men and takes a strike. One of your keys tonight, Joe, is for Julio to be aggressive. He's 5 out of 6 in strike one pitches.
Julio's got, I mean, he's got some temper, you know, and he hates to lose. He's super competitive. And at some point, especially in this ballpark, you kind of get to a point, I would assume he does. He's fed up with all these numbers.
Yeah, I think, you know, you can get caught sometimes and trying to, like I've talked about, you go out there to pitch trying to avoid having certain results happen and certainly avoiding the results he's had here. But sooner or later, you just got to get ticked off and get after it. Like that.
Blistering 92-mile-an-hour fastball froze Joseph's. That's 2 big pitches Julio's made in this game. Get Joseph here and then to strike out Nava with a man at third base in the first.
Like you said, Tom, quality pitch.
Yeah, and even that, I mean, he's trying to go in, leaped over the plate a little bit, but it's down. You're down, you got a shot. That same pitch ends up leaking a little bit in his thigh high. You're probably not getting a take.
So in or out's not as important as up or down?
It can be, but I think if you're, you know, it's kind of like if you're again, you don't want to have both bad things happen where if a ball leaks over the plate, it's leaking over the plate thigh high. At least if you're down, you got a shot.
Nick Williams didn't get it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Williams is off to an impressive start. 22 RBIs. He's hit 5 homers. And a swing and a miss. It's one area where the Phillies are drastically improved from a year ago. They have a lot more outfield production and a lot more outfield depth, even without Aaron Altair, who's hurt. And Williams has given them a nice lift, but he's down to his last strike in the second inning.
One thing the Phillies did about 3 or 4 days ago was their young slugger Hoskins.
Rhys Hoskins,
who's at AAA. They've moved him to left field to start learning and seeing if he can play a little left field, not a whole lot unlike Matt Adams.
We talked about Hoskins' numbers last year at Reading. 38 homers, 116 RBIs. Three balls, 2 strikes, and that's taken inside. Williams was way behind in the count. Julio lost him. And if there's been a pattern, it's been this: walk, home run for Julio, especially here. Another powerful hitter coming up, Cameron Rupp. Rupp batting 8th for the Phillies and hitting .234 for the year. He's gotten a couple of check swings in the early going tonight. Rupp couldn't hold up, and he's down a strike. Andrew Knapp is the other Phillies catcher. He's on the disabled list with a bruised hand suffered on August 3rd. So Jorge Alfaro is up and acting as the backup. Just missed. Check swing roller. That's tough play. Julio with a backhand. Fires high and over Freeman's head. That's going to trickle into the stands. And Rupp's going to stop at second base. And Williams will be sent to third. Brandon Phillips was charging and had the better angle on that play, but Julio fired off balance and Freeman had no chance.
Yeah, I was trying to do a little too much here. Julio feels his position beautifully. He's a great athlete, but that was ill-advised. And it goes to show you on a check swing how it depends on where you hit it. Like Brandon's went right back to the mound.
Yeah.
And this one was a swinging bunt, check swing bunt base hit.
That's a hit and an error. And at the very least, it clears Eflin, who's batting 143 for the year. The 2-out walk is what created the problems after Julio got ahead 1 ball 2 strikes to Mr. Williams. Ground ball to the left side. Brandon dives, makes a great play and saved a run. Brandon Phillips to his left makes a remarkable play to rob Zach Eflin and deny the Phillies a chance to get it tied in the second. Julio gives up a walk, a hit, and an error, but the Phillies fail to score. It's 1-0 Atlanta as we head to the home second. Ball, stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Braves home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcasts, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Brandon Phillips picked up Julio Teheran after his throwing error. And so as we head to the home second, it'll be Kurt Suzuki, Matt Adams, and Jace Peterson coming up for the Braves in the second inning. Freddie Freeman's 2-out solo homer, the only run allowed so far tonight. Got some great news at rookie level Danville today. Bruce Zimmerman, Jacob Belinda, and John Curtis combined to throw a 7-inning no-hitter in game 1 of their doubleheader today. It's the 6th in Danville franchise history and the 1st since 2009.
Nice.
And Joe, you had some news about AAA Gwinnett after the Camargo injury.
Yeah, that news spreads quickly, and Dansby Swanson was pinch hit for early in that ball game. He's out of the game. Probably awaiting news on Camargo's knee.
Which, if just joining us, Johan injured his knee as he was attempting to skip over the first baseline and take his position before first pitch, and he had to be helped off the field. So Jace Peterson in at shortstop now. He's due third in the inning after Kurt Suzuki goes to work.
Good cut.
Tommy, I know you haven't seen the Braves live for the last several games. You have missed one of the hottest streaks by a Braves hitter in a long time.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of it here and there on the TV. He's been swinging it, no question. Making the most of his opportunity.
8 home runs in 11 games in July.
Tried for another one there.
Yeah.
And we just now are getting the word on Johan Camargo. Brad Hange in the Braves media relations department says Johan suffered a hyperextended right knee, and he will have an MRI later on tonight, and the knee situation will be reevaluated then. So Suzuki down on strikes. That's the first for Eflin. 1 up, 1 down for Matt Adams. First pitch swing, and a bouncing ball will bound up the middle for Adams. So that's the third Braves hit. That doesn't waste any time. And that'll bring up Jace Peterson.
Yeah, and in a way beat the shift, hitting it to the left side of the field. There's only one fielder over there, and he's playing shortstop.
Jace Peterson hit a home run in his last game with Gwinnett before getting called back up for the 4th time to Atlanta. And he's 3 for his last 3, including a homer. Great work off the bench for Jace Peterson of late. And technically he's off the bench in tonight's game. That just missed. 2 balls, no strikes. Line to left. Jace Peterson's 4 for his last 4.
Nice piece of hitting there by Jace.
Yeah,
nice to see him have a little success too, because nobody's going to outwork Jace. Just a matter of him getting in a groove, feeling a little more comfortable, certainly taking advantage of this opportunity, like you said.
So Ozzie Albies with 2 on, 1 out. Takes a strike. Ozzie, the first player in the major leagues, born in 1997. And the youngest player to play for the Braves since Julio Teheran debuted as a 20-year-old back in 2011. So his first action against the Phillies tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He got a ringing endorsement yesterday from John Sherholtz, vice chairman of the ball club. who said he foresees him being a real catalyst at the top of the order for the Braves in future years.
Two balls, two strikes. And that's poked out a play foul.
That could be a nice 1-2 punch over the years with him and Ender at the top of the lineup.
You bet.
Baseball America touted Albies as the Braves' #2 rated prospect coming into this season. Shot toward Galvis. That's the wrong guy. Glove hand flip to second, and what a turn by Hernandez. Galvis does it again. Albies with a sharply hit ball to Freddie Galvis. He starts another double play. 6-4, 3 and out goes Atlanta in inning #2. A lot of good defense early in a 1-0 Atlanta game.
Is brought to you by your local Ford dealer and the Georgia Lottery.
Braves 1, Phillies nothing after 2. Glad Tom Glavine is back with Joe Simpson and me. Kelsey Wingert with us as well as the Braves and Phillies play a quick 2-game series. After we wrap things up with the Phillies, the Braves hit the road again. We head to St. Louis for our lone visit in the home of the Cardinals, then to Colorado for a longer series with the Rockies.
Can you believe this weather, Tom?
No, I'll tell you what,
for August,
it's been pretty good. Yeah, whatever. We had that nice long stretch of hot and humid, and it's gone away, and it's stayed away, which is nice.
So Cesar Hernandez goes back to work for the Phillies. He blooped a double down the left field line his first time up. And Adams made a great try. Got leather on it, but it dropped in fair territory for a leadoff double. Hernandez, though, was left stranded 90 feet away in the opening inning. And that's inside. Ball 1, strike 1. Joe mentioned how the Braves envision Ozzie Albies as an offensive spark plug at the top of the order. You could say the exact same thing about Cesar Hernandez. That's what he's done in his last 9 games, and the Phillies are averaging over a run per game more with him back in the lineup than when he was gone. And that just missed. Ball 2.
Yeah, he's one of those very underrated players in the National League, and oftentimes overshadowed by his teammate, his shortstop.
The 2-2. Shortstop Freddie Galvis waits on deck. Swing and a miss. Hernandez didn't get a 76-mile-an-hour breaking ball.
It's kind of a late breaker here.
Yeah, I think the way it came out of his hand, I think he thought it was going to be a fastball away, and then kind of realized, uh-oh. Tried to go get it and couldn't.
As a pitcher, is that an uh-oh too? Seeing as that how high that ball was?
Yeah, it's a little bit up, you know, but I think his ability to locate that fastball down and away so far has, you know, made him respect that pitch. And like I said, I think he thought it was a fastball.
There's one to Galvis, who took a strike.
That's 2 in a row on the first pitch down and away.
A lot of first pitch strikes for Julio so far tonight. And now an even count.
That is a great pitch. Looks like he's got it zeroed in a little bit tonight.
Popped him up with a breaking ball. Straightaway center. Galvis will be retired. Enders got it. And there's out number 2. Joe, your other key was economy. He's at 42 pitches with 2 outs in the 3rd inning.
Not bad. Not bad when you consider he threw 90-some in 4 innings up in Philadelphia. 92.
Daniel Nava struck out with Hernandez at 3rd base back in the 1st inning. Mention his rise from the independent leagues to the Boston Red Sox. This guy had a big league debut for the ages. When Nava got to the show in 2010, he had a grand slam in his first major league plate appearance. And it gets even better than that. Nava hit a grand slam in his first plate appearance on the first pitch he saw in the big leagues. Only Kevin Kuzmanoff had done that.
It's kind of like birdie in the first hole, though. It's going to only go downhill from there.
I was just going to say, there's only one place to go.
No balls, 2 strikes. That's down the left field line and slicing out of play. That's a pretty amazing story, though, from independent ball to the Red Sox. And Nava had some good years up there. 2013, played 134 games, hit .303, 12 homers, scored 77 runs.
Well, I mean, that's that old adage, you know, you keep the uniform on as long as you can, right? I mean, sometimes you wonder, what are you doing? Why are you playing? What are you playing in that league for? You don't ever know.
Nope.
No balls, 2 strikes.
I've also always believed if you can hit, you can hit. And sometimes you're not given enough credit if you're playing in a hitter's league, or in his case, the independent league was the MVP. And everybody can say, well, yeah, but it was the independent league. But he was hitting, and he was getting his hits and hitting homers, and he just brought it with him.
To second. Albies has that, and Julio has a 1-2-3 third. He's looking good. So are the Braves. 1-0. Tehran leads off next. But it was an off day filled with sadness for those of us who love the game and love its great characters. We lost a tremendous man, a tremendous competitor yesterday, and a man that had some very strong and deep ties with the Atlanta Braves organization. Don Baylor sadly passed away at the age of 68 in Austin, Texas. The former manager of the Colorado Rockies, former hitting coach here with the Braves, managed the Chicago Cubs as well. You guys knew Don Baylor exceptionally well. Truly a wonderful man, and his son Don Jr. and lovely wife Becky, I know, are grieving along with the rest of us in the baseball fraternity.
Yeah, he'll be sorely missed. A tremendous person, as good a person as you would ever run into in this game or any other line of business.
Yeah, I think that was the remarkable thing for me. For the short period of time I was around him here in Atlanta, you know, certainly made a huge impact. But, you know, like Joe and I were talking earlier, for a guy that was just a fierce competitor, boy, was he a gentle giant, too. I mean, just one of the nicest guys you'd run across, except if you got in his way on the baseball field.
Absolutely.
No balls, 2 strikes for Julio Teheran, who pokes one out of play foul.
For those of you who have internet access and like to look up stories, Tracy Ringlesby, who's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, wrote a great story about Don Baylor today and his experiences with Don. And it'll shed a little light on Don Baylor. If you are not familiar with him that much, look up Tracy Ringlesby's story today. It was outstanding.
Chipper Jones felt an instant connection, he said, with Don Baylor, and many credit Don Baylor with Chipper Jones' remarkable year he had with the Braves.
Well, one of the things Chipper said that Don brought out in him was his right-handed swing. Really helped him with that. Helped make him a better, more complete switch hitter.
Chipper in that article, I think, said his idea right-handed hit for high average. Don Baylor said, you're hitting third on one of the best teams in baseball. They need to fear you every time you come to the plate. Go up there with intent to do damage from both sides of the plate. As Galvis flags down that bloop try by Ender. Galvis is everywhere again. And he is single-handedly keeping Eflin in a 1-run game right now.
Yeah, I know for the guys in the Braves uniform and maybe the fans, this is not fun to watch him, but from up here, he's pretty fun to watch. He can make some plays.
Well, their radio analyst, Larry Anderson, told us up in Philadelphia, he said, there are only a few guys in the big leagues that I would pay to go watch these days, and the Phillies on shortstop is one of them every night.
So 3 excellent plays by Galvis in the first 3 innings of a 1-0 game. Here's Phillips. Brandon Phillips hit that comebacker to the mound that Eflin speared, threw wide of the bag at second. Somehow Galvis caught it off balance and in awkward positioning and threw to first in time for the double play. And another comebacker right back to the mound. And it's a 8-pitch inning for Eflin, and it heads us to inning number 4. 1-0 Braves have the lead.
game, his first.
Phillies also come to town with heavy hearts tonight. They lost one of their inspirational leaders, one of their great players, man they called Dutch, Darren Daulton, one of the toughest guys on a team filled with them. Tommy, you know all about those '93 Phillies and what Darren Daulton meant to the Philadelphia organization. Daulton passed away 2 days ago after a multi-year fight with brain cancer.
Yeah, much too young and certainly missed by the Phillies and in the baseball world. But yeah, another guy, great competitor, leader of that scrub team in 1993. And man, it's he could hit, and it's, you kind of wonder how much more he could have done if his knees weren't so god awful.
Yeah, right.
I mentioned Larry Anderson, Joe, a second ago. He told me a story before the game about Darren Daulton that I couldn't believe was true. Darren Daulton was so tough. He was catching in a game and got hit with a foul ball that broke his collarbone. He stayed in the game and caught. First, the 0-1 pitch. An inning or so later, he got hit in the collarbone in the same spot.
Ooh.
And then had to come out of the game.
Ooh.
And when the doctors examined him, they said, well, we think the first one is what broke it. And so, Tommy, your point about all the knee surgeries, all the pain and suffering he went through on the field, playing in a town like Philadelphia, you can understand why the fans of the Phillies in that great blue-collar, all-American town loved a Rocky Balboa in catcher's gear, if you will, and Darren Daulton.
Yeah, no question.
Now to play foul by Michael Franco. Jim Fregosi was the manager of those teams, and as we know from his days with the Braves, Jim didn't suffer fools lightly. When you are the leader of the '93 Phillies with the personalities on that team, that tells you how tough you are.
He said we did everything hard.
Yeah.
And he meant it.
Yeah. So a rough night for the Phillies family. They're playing for the first time since the news of Darren Daulton's passing. Rockies have hung Don Baylor's uniform in their dugout tonight. As they're playing the Indians on the road in interleague play this evening. Julio leads this game 1-0 in the fourth inning. Franco, Herrera, and Tommy Joseph are scheduled to hit. And now the payoff is fouled at the plate.
Don Baylor got hit by more pitches than anybody in the game while he was in the game. Set the record. I think Biggio later broke it. And then he had only one thing in mind after he got hit by a pitch, and that was to take out your second baseman or shortstop on the next ground ball up the middle. And he was really good at it.
Lined and caught by Phillips. That ball was behind him, and he snared it between the legs.
It was behind him.
He was trying to wait as long as he possibly could.
Oh my gosh.
The old hot corner.
Yeah. That hamstring came in handy. I think it helped him keep the ball in the glove.
Yeah, got it a little off the heel and secured it with the hammy.
Wow. So there's one out, and Herrera showed bunt and takes a ball.
If you remember, Franco just about undressed Freddie Freeman up in Philadelphia with one like that. That was a one-hopper.
Herrera lined out his first time. He's trying to extend a 10-game hitting streak. He's riding a 14-game hitting streak against the Braves. And one of the most deliberate hitters in the game. Takes him a while to get ready in the box. No swing. 2 balls and a strike.
A lot of damage in there. Like Chip said earlier, a lot of his homers this year. He's only hit 11 on the year, but 4 against Atlanta. He had a funny incident in Philadelphia, Tom. He's got this high leg kick, and the pitcher for the Braves, it might have been Julio, hadn't even broken out of his stretch yet, and he had already kicked his leg up and was trying to hold it, but his leg came down and he called time.
Another chance at third. This one is foul. So Julio will get a new baseball. Herrera will get another swing here with an even count. The 2-2.
Colleges haven't started school yet, have they?
Some of them have kind of reported maybe, but the whole fraternity thing's going on. I don't know if they started classes yet.
Well, they've started something because they're up in left field tonight and shirts off and chants going, and I have a feeling that has a lot to do with it.
Another 2-2 pitch is popped up out of play. Julio ready. Here it comes. Oh, he thought he had him struck out. He raises his hands in frustration. Full count.
Good pitch. That shows a little low.
That's a strike. I don't care what that thing says. That's a good pitch.
So Julio didn't get the call. 2-2. Let's see what he does on a full count. That's Tommy Joseph. He's on deck. Atlanta leads 1-0 on a Freddie Freeman first inning homer. And he lost Herrera. So the second walk for Julio. And Joseph's coming up. He struck out his first time. Joseph in a bit of a tailspin. He's hitless in his last 12 at bats, including his second inning whiff. Mentioned a kid named Reese Hoskins in the Phillies minor leagues. They have another kid by the name of Dylan Cousins. There's another big time masher. Shaved a corner. Dylan Cousins, left hand hitting outfielder. Also at Reading. He hit 40 homers and drove in 125. Bad news is he struck out 186 times in 520 at bats.
Was that all at Reading?
That was at Reading.
40 homers and he didn't get moved.
No.
Huh.
The other guy had 38. He didn't either.
Wow. Well, I guess that's being patient with your plan.
Well, I'm going to look back and see if I can find what Redding did last year. They have two guys at 78 home runs. No balls, 2 strikes.
You're making Julio work this inning. A lot of foul balls. Save himself a few pitches if he could get a ground ball here.
Runner goes. Pitch popped up out of play. Yeah, that Reading club last year for the Phillies led their organization in wins. They were 89 and 52.
That's a really good year in any league.
Herrera at first. He is chased back. This is Julio's 24th pitch of the inning. Runner goes. Pitch a strike. The throw to second. Also a strike, but the ball was dropped by Albies. And Herrera's in safely with his 6th steal. Joseph strikes out for the 2nd time. And Williams, the batter, with 2 outs.
Good jump by Herrera. Even if Albies hangs on to it, they're not going to get him.
Let's see if Julio can have an easy time with Williams. Remember, he got to 2 strikes pretty quickly in the 2nd inning and then lost him with a walk. Fly ball well hit right center. Ender's not going to get it. That's going to be up against the fence. Williams on his way to second. He's going to stop there. He jumps all over the first pitch and cashes in the 2nd two-run walk of the game. And the Phillies have tied it up here in the 4th.
Braves handled Williams pretty well up in Philadelphia in that 4-game series. He's one guy that didn't hurt him. He was 1 for 13. Breaking ball that was up. Got a good look at it and smoked it. But after Atlanta, where he was 1 for 13, he had a good road trip. 7 for 16 with a homer coming into this game.
So the Braves will walk Rupp intentionally. And Eflin's coming up. He almost had a base hit back in the 2nd. Brandon Phillips to his left made a nice stab to end the inning. And Eflin takes a strike. So much of what the Phillies are trying to accomplish rests in the arms of guys like Zach Eflin. Like the Braves, they're building their organization around young pitching that they've drafted, developed, and acquired. Joe mentioned Eflin came over from the Dodgers on the Jimmy Rollins deal. He was 13-8 in the minor leagues before this season. Last year, 3-5 in 11 big league starts. And 0-3 with a 6-point ERA in 2017. The 0-2 pitch. Line drive into center field. That's going to get down for a hit. Ender comes up firing. His throw to the plate is late, and Zach Eflin gives himself the lead.
You know, he hit the ball pretty hard his last time up, the first time up, when Brandon Phillips had to make a nice play on him. Oh, boy.
Hanging changeup or something.
Yeah. He's just a good hitter here and not missing it.
So how different would the inning be if Herrera hadn't walked? That would have been the second out. Joseph would have been the third. Instead, Phillies have 2 runs in the lead. And now Julio's got to get after Cesar Hernandez, who's red hot. 2 on, 2 out, 2 in. Julio Teheran's thrown 77 pitches. 30 of them have come in this inning. Rupp and Eflin, the Philly runners.
Let's get through this inning. Braves have the heart of the order coming up. Trying to get the lead back, but just avoid further damage.
Yeah, damage control. We talk about it all the time. Stay out of the big inning. 2 runs you can deal with.
So the 2-2 pitch. Almost hit it. Now Rupp, the catcher, and Eflin, the pitcher, have the advantage of a head start on a full count with 2 outs. There go the runners, and we'll do it again. So again, the 3-2 pitch. William not quite ready. Now we go, and it's a broken bat. Oh, what a pick by the dandy little glove man. Former Phillies and Cubs second baseman Mickey Morandini.
That was his throwing hand. Look how good he is barehanded with the other one.
Again, Teheran ready. The runners go. The pitch. Line drive center, but right at Ender. He's got it. And that's the inning. 2 hits, 2 walks, 2 runs for Philadelphia. They take their first lead of the night with Freddie Freeman, Nick Markakis, and Kurt Suzuki coming up for the Braves. The Braves have a 1-run deficit as we go to the 4th inning. Freddie Freeman scored the first run of the game back in inning number 1, fellas.
Fastball up, in on him a little bit. He turned on it, kept it fair, and nailed his 21st of the year.
That was our SunTrust confidence play tonight. First career hit for Freddie Freeman against Zach Eflin. Now enjoys a 1-run lead thanks to some excellent defense up the middle by his shortstop, Freddie Galvis. Phillies have turned a couple of double plays. Galvis made a terrific catch on a pop-up. And on what's turned out to be a lovely night, Freeman leads off the Braves' 4th inning. Fans start the Freddie Freeman chant, which worked so dramatically the other night against the Marlins. High fly ball hammered toward left center. Herrera as far as he can go, and he and Nava meet, and it is Odubel Herrera who makes the play right at the left center field fence.
Thought he got it.
That leaked over the middle. Ball just kept carrying. Didn't quite get enough.
They were lucky that wasn't any worse than it was.
Nick Markakis popped out his first and only time up. That ended the Braves' first. Nick's had good luck against the Phillies. Ten RBIs and a .366 batting average head-to-head coming into tonight's play.
That was a good swing. Good fastball. 94 from Eflin.
Hernandez to his right. Easy pick. Markakis is the second out.
Eflin made 2 starts against Gwinnett in July, the 19th and 24th, and the first one was a real good one. He got a no decision, but 7 innings, 5 hit ball. He only gave up 1 run. Walked 3, struck out 5. Next time was at home for his ball club, Lehigh Valley, against Gwinnett. 5 innings, 10 hits, 7 runs. And he struck out 9 in 5 innings. Still gave up 7 runs and got beat 9-3.
He was around the plate a little too much in that game.
Yeah, he doesn't walk that many guys. 9 and 47 innings in the big leagues coming in.
2 outs for Kurt Suzuki and a 1-0 count. It's hard to explain. This is a man that's had very little one-loss luck at the major league level, but he has been mesmerizing the Braves hitters. 19 2/3 career innings against the Braves. He's given up 3 runs.
Rupp took a foul tip off the arm. That hurt.
To the left side. Nice pick by Franco. Ekro hops and flips. And Eflin has an 8-pitch 4th inning. He preserves the lead. Galvis, Nava, and Franco coming up. For Tehran, 8 pitches for Zach Eflin, and as Julio goes to the top of the 5th inning, he trails 2-1. 5th inning is always brought to you by Audi.
Yeah, that's not necessarily a good thing for a couple of reasons. A quick inning by Eflin and then getting Julio right back out there. Didn't get much of a rest. He only had, what, an 8-pitch inning. Eflin had only an 8-pitch inning in the 3rd inning as well.
A bunt try by Galvis. It's a beauty. And nothing Ozzie could do about that. Galvis is doing a little of everything tonight. In the 5th inning, he starts it off with a bunt single.
He did a great job of disguising this, though. He kind of came out like he was going to push it to 3rd. Bat was back.
Got Julio to jump to 3rd.
And then he drags it. You see Julio's weight moving to the right. And got it past him. That was beautiful.
So got to keep an eye on Galvis. He's stolen 9 bags. Nava the hitter, 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out.
That had a little Larry Boa written on it.
There's the former Phillies skipper working in tandem with Pete McCannon. Larry Bowa's in his 52nd year in the big leagues. Excuse me, with Major League Baseball. 43 of them in the major leagues, 33 with the Phillies. One of 8 men in Philly history to manage, coach, and play for the Phillies. Larry Bowa had 2,191 hits.
I did not.
Did you know Larry Bowa was a .260 career big league hitter?
I don't think I knew that either.
Won the Gold Glove twice. Was a 5-time National League All-Star. And his career ended with the Phillies in 1982 as a player when he was traded to the Cubs for Ivan De Jesus. There was another player involved in that deal. Went on to become a Hall of Famer and a Phillies manager too. His name was Ryne Sandberg. One ball, one strike to Daniel Nava. And up and in. Pop fly out of play. Is it just me, or after the 3rd inning, the pace of this game's kind of really slowed?
It's gotten sludgy.
A lot of pitches will make it seem that way too. But Julio in the first 3 innings very aggressive, got ahead of hitters. Not so much so in the 4th and 5th innings. 36 pitches last inning.
I'll put some of that on Herrera too. He brought the game to a complete stop with all of his walking around at home plate when he was up, and then drew a walk in the 4th inning.
We thought he should have been struck out. Runner goes. Pitch cut on a miss. Suzuki's throw is short hopped, and Jace couldn't hang on. So Galvis does steal a base. That's his 10th. Phillies have a couple of swipes against Teheran and Suzuki tonight. Nava is down on strikes. Franco the hitter with a runner at second and 1 out. Galvis has been everywhere. Now he's in scoring position, trying to help the Phillies extend their lead. Here's Franco. He's flied out to center and lined out to third. Closing in on a birthday. He'll be 25 on August 26th. Last year led the Phillies in RBIs, was tied for their team high with 25 homers. And the first Philly third baseman with a 25 homer year since Scott Rowland. Popped up out of play. The exasperating thing for the Phillies guys is that he can't hit in his home ballpark all of a sudden. At least not like they've been used to. It's a large part of that .229 batting average that you see for Franco.
They're trying and trying to get him to quit trying on his own to hit home runs and pull everything.
I wouldn't think he'd need to do that in that ballpark.
No, and that's the frustration for them. They've adjusted his stance. They've opened it up a little bit. hoping he sees the ball a little better so that he's not bailing on sliders.
One ball, one strike pitch. Yank foul. If I'm a major league hitting coach, and I'm certainly not qualified to be one, but if you're judging on results, every right-hand pull-happy hitter, I'm going to say swing the bat like Giancarlo Stanton does. After he hit a barrage of home runs against the Braves in the Marlins series just concluded, well, he's hit one again tonight in Washington. A new personal record, his 38th.
He's got pretty good pop to all parts of the field, though, that guy. He's pretty strong.
And he's a different looking hitter now.
And if I could swing it like Giancarlo, I'd go suit up now.
Well, I mean, he's a guy, though, that the Braves, if you made a mistake, you hit it out. If you made a pitch, he wasn't out. That's not the case right now for Stanton.
Now he's had some kind of year.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Hopefully, knock on wood for him and for them, he can stay healthy all year.
Albies trying to keep the runner close at second, and it's a shot down the right field line, and it's a fair ball. That kissed up against the chalk. Galvis is going to score, and Michael Franco with a rare opposite field hit extends the Philadelphia lead.
And everybody that's a coach in that Phillies dugout is thrilled to see that. Didn't try to pull that pitch. He was leading with his hands right on the chalk.
So some bad luck for Tehran there. A run in on 2 hits. The stolen base looms large. Here's Herrera. Odubel walked, and he stole a base and scored last time up. Phillies are at it again, beating the Braves 3-1 tonight. And a swing and a miss.
What a turnaround in his season.
That's hit high in the air, deep toward right, and he turns around an 0-2 pitch and hits it into the chop house.
I'm not sure that ball wouldn't have bounced if he didn't swing it.
So the home run ball continues to be a huge problem for Julio Tehran. That's the 28th he's allowed, more than anybody else in the National League.
I mean, Kurt is going over there to backhand the ball above the dirt.
I don't know how he hit it. I don't know how he kept it fair.
And he hit it a long way.
Inside the restaurant.
Yeah.
And the Phillies have scored 3 in the 5th. So that's 5 homers, 12 RBIs for Herrera, who has 12 homers and 43 RBIs overall this year. Braves bullpen begins to stir as Tehran delivers. And that one's popped up toward Markakis and right. Nick near the line makes the grab. And Joseph is 0 for 3. with Sam Freeman, who's beginning to warm up. Williams has walked, he's doubled, he's scored, and he's knocked in a run. His fourth inning double, his second hit of the year against the Braves. And out of play left side, strike one. Nick Williams, a second-round pick of the Texas Rangers, part of that gigantic haul that the Phillies received for Cole Hamels at the deadline in 2015. Robert Amaro was the then general manager of the Phillies and did an excellent job of restocking their farm system before he moved on to become the Boston Red Sox first base coach. Jorge Alfaro, Alec Asher, Jared Eichhoff, Matt Harrison, and Jake Thompson were the youngsters that Texas gave up to get Hamels and Jake Diekman, who has yet to pitch this year. He's coming back from colitis surgery. One-two pitch. And back to the screen. Foul. We'll do it again. Braves might see Cole Hamels a little later on. Braves have a couple of interleague series left with Texas and Seattle. The Rangers will be here September 4th, 5th, and 6th. Seattle's coming to town August 21st, 2nd, and 3rd. And a swing and a miss ends the inning. The Phillies get 3 runs on 3 hits. Adubel Herrera golfs an 0-2 pitch into the chop house for a 2-run homer, and it's a 4-run Philly lead.
Five to 1. Matt Adams set to lead off the inning for the Braves. He's taken over the duties in left field for now, waiting for Matt Kemp to come back from the DL. He was placed on the DL on July 29th, and he has resumed baseball activity. So he can run, he can catch, but there is no timetable for his return. Brian Snitker tells us that there's no rehab assignment determined yet, but he will come with the team, probably on the road trip, so the trainers can keep their hands on him. So again, no timetable for Matt Kemp's return. Same for Adonis Garcia, but we are keeping a close eye on it.
Okay, Kelsey, thank you very much. So an opportunity for Matt Adams tonight. He's got a base hit against Zach Eflin, who now has been staked to a 5-1 lead. 2 runs in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, erasing a Freddie Freeman homer that put Atlanta in front to start the night. Keeping with the injury theme, the big story this evening, if you're just joining us, before the very first pitch of the game, Johan Camargo tried to jump over the first baseline and landed awkwardly and appeared to hyperextend his right knee. And he had to be helped off the field by Ron Washington and athletic trainer Jim Lovell. Johan's going to have an MRI tonight. We hope to get more word on the severity of what for now is listed as a hyperextended knee. So with lineup cards exchanged, Camargo in the game. Jace Peterson had to come out and play shortstop. As Adams is down on strikes, that's 8 up, 8 down for Eflin. And his third punch out of the game.
One of the scouting reports we got on Eflin was that he was so inconsistent. He would have a good start and then a bad one or 2 bad ones and then a good start, and they just never knew when the good ones were going to come.
Well, he's facing the Braves, and he's having a good one again. His third start against the Bravos, and he's given up 2, make it 3 career earned runs in 20 innings. Jace Peterson singled to left back in the second inning. Back-to-back hits by the Braves. Double play took him out of that inning when Galvis started a 6-4-3 twin killing off the bat of Ozzie Albies. To first, Joseph's there, and Eflin to the bag. Cameron Rupp screamed at the pitcher to get over, and if Eflin didn't, Rupp would have killed him.
Well, he's got all his pitches working, that's for sure. He's got a good fastball that has been up as high as 94. That was a changeup and a good pitch. He's had a decent slider. Got burned on a fastball up and into Freddie is the only pitch he's really been hurt on.
Yeah, I mean, look, from what you see here tonight or what you've seen against the Braves, you know, there's a lot there to like. I mean, tall guy, throws downhill. Like you said, he gets up to 94, but he's got some sink when he's down. Breaking pitch and change up are pretty decent.
Line over short. Albies has a 2-out single. So that's the end of Eflin's 9-in-a-row batter retired streak, and Lane Adams will come on and hit for Julio.
Low pitch there that he just went down and golfed.
Five innings, 7 hits, 5 runs for Julio, 6 strikeouts, 3 walks, 1 of them intentional, a home run. And that 5 spot is an all too familiar refrain for the Braves right-hander in his new home park. In 70 career games at Turner Field, Julio allowed 5 or more runs just 7 times. Tonight is Teheran's 12th career start at SunTrust Park. He's given up 5 or more runs in 5 of those 12 games.
It's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. And he's in danger of falling to 1-8 on his home mound. He's allowed 8 homers in his last 21 innings pitched. 1-2 pitch. And out of play, foul by Lane Adams.
Say 8 and 21.
8 home runs in his last 21 innings pitched. Home or away.
Well, tonight, in his defense, I don't know how that ball was hit out of the ballpark.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, you think back, and look, this isn't an excuse, but I think it's a factual statement. In the 4th inning, if Herrera struck out on that close pitch, that's the 2nd out. You get Joseph, nothing happens. Nice stop by Rupp. If Herrera swings at what appeared to be a bad ball, pitcher's pitch, and misses, that's the 2nd out of the inning. And you might have a 1-1, maybe a 2-1 game. But no such luck for Julio here tonight. 2-2 for Adams. 2 outs. 5-1 Phillies in the 5th. Pretty stout fastball at 95 miles an hour. Fouls that off his foot as Albies was running with the pitch. And we'll do it again. Lane pops it up. Long run. Who wants it? In right field, it's going to be Williams, and that takes care of the Braves in the bottom of the 5th inning. Braves bullpen's in play. 5-1 your score. Phillies lead it.
Is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Delta Airlines.
Joe, Tom, Chip, and Kelsey Wingert with you from Atlanta. 5-1. The Phillies are beating the Braves again. And Sam Freeman's going to try to hold them right where they are. He's got the bottom of the order coming up in the top of the 6th inning. And Sam has been busy, and guys, he's been really good.
On this homestand, 1 appearance against the Dodgers, no runs in 1 inning, and then 2/3 of an inning against Miami. No hits or runs allowed or walks. Struck out a batter. Braves did a great job Sunday after giving up that 4 spot when Lucas Sims got touched for 4 in the first. Lucas and the bullpen did a great job of holding them right there. The offense just couldn't catch up. Jose Urena was too good.
Cameron Rupp leads off for the Phillies. And Joe, you're right. The Braves bullpen, which had such a rough month of July, has been great the last 8. 7 earned runs in 25 innings pitched. They've allowed 1 homer. 3 saves, 3 holds. They have not blown a lead in those 8 games. So that gives you some hope that if Freeman and company can hold them at bay, you hope the Braves in their last 4 turns at bat can get something done against the Phils. There's a good fastball. Rupp didn't get it. 2-1 the count.
Sam is not only sneaky quick, he's sneaky fast. Mid-90s at times. And he does it with relative ease.
Yeah, not a lot of moving parts. Just kind of nice and easy, and then boom.
Now the 2-2 pitch, and Rupp didn't get it. Good start for Freeman. He strikes out the Phillies catcher. He's retired for the first time this evening. That's the 7th Philly to have been struck out in the game.
Trying to win and painted them away.
So here's Eflin. He's had an impressive night at the plate. He's only 1 for 2, but he's hit the ball hard once and in a perfect spot the second time. His 4th inning single gave the Phillies a lead that they haven't given up. That's tipped and caught. 1-2. He is heating them up, heating them in. Back-to-back strikeouts, 2-way.
A shot of Lucas Sims there. His next start will be Saturday in St. Louis against the Cardinals.
Mike Foltynewicz will pitch Friday. R.A. Dickey will be backed up to Sunday. Give him a little extra rest. Cardinals playing a lot better baseball. St. Louis runners play at 500 as they play Kansas City tonight. Cardinals at 56 and 56, 3.5 out, chasing the Cubs in the Central. Pittsburgh's only 4.5 back.
I was looking at that wild card thing. There's like 4, maybe 5 teams in the National League within 5 games of the wild card. In the American League, there's 9.
Yeah, there's a bunch over there.
Boy.
I want to see a 6-way tie for the second wild card and let chaos ensue in early October. Here's Hernandez. He didn't get it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. New York, Kansas City, Tampa Bay. Seattle's a game out. By the way, the Mariners got Yonder Alonso the other day, an under radar move. Bolster the Mariners club. They got bad news. Felix Hernandez has bursitis, and David Phelps threw 7 pitches and left with an elbow problem.
Uh-oh.
So they're going to have to figure something out, I would assume.
Bursitis, man, I haven't heard of that in a long time. Must have been the damp weather. Well, they've got a good lineup. I know that. Nelson Cruz is having another tremendous year.
Full count pitch from Freeman to Hernandez, and it's popped up and out of play. Baltimore's a 1.5 games back. A lot of folks scoffed when they went out and got Jeremy Hellickson. Well, the Orioles are 1.5 games out of the second wild card spot. Minnesota's 2.5 back. The Angels are 3 back. Texas 4 back. And up and in, or up and away, I should say, to Hernandez. A 2-out walk.
I mentioned Nelson Cruz with the Mariners having a good year. He's leading the American League in RBIs with 84. Do you know who's second? It doesn't matter. You'll never guess. It's not Aaron Judge. Jonathan Scope, the second baseman for Baltimore.
Really?
You're right. I would have never guessed.
82.
Wow. 2
behind Nelson Cruz.
Never would have guessed that. You're right. A base hit by Galvis, who's having a spectacular night. He is doing everything. A bunt single, now a clean single, a hard hit ball to right field to keep the inning alive, and that brings up Nava, who's 0 for 3.
One of the great things for the Phillies, I mean, based on what we've seen, it's hard for me to keep calling them a last place club.
Yep.
But one of the nice things about their lineup is that they've got 2 switch hitters at the top. Make it 3 tonight.
Yeah, tonight, yeah, Nava, who's a part-time player for him, He had no luck left-handed. Let's see what he can do right-handed. He's 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Driven foul right side. Strike 1. Miami's opened up a 7-1 lead over Washington. We've talked a lot about the Braves' struggles with the Phillies. Well, Washington and the Marlins, I think, have split their first 11 or 12 games. Nationals have had their share of trouble with the Fish. Too much Giancarlo Stanton for them tonight. Wild swing and a miss by Nava. He's behind 0-2. Yeah, Miami's 5-5 head-to-head with Washington entering tonight's game. We'll do it again. That's grounded toward short. Jace will flip to second in time, and that ends the Phillies' 6th. The top of the order is coming up. Ender Inciarte will lead off for the Braves. Phillips and Freeman to follow. Braves need to get working in the 6th inning. It's 5-1 Phillies in front. Friday, August 18th through Sunday, August 20th, with a full schedule of memorable events. See the full calendar of events taking place at both the Center for Civil and Human Rights and here at SunTrust Park. Go to braves.com/heritage. All right, time to get chopping. Right guys, right time. Third time through the order. Zach Eflin facing Ender Inciarte, who singled to start the game. Ender saw 8 pitches in the first inning. He was erased on a double play. Verlander with 140 hits. But he's surrounded by Colorado Rockies. Charlie Blackmon's first in the league with 150 hits. Nolan Arenado 138. DJ LeMahieu 131. They've got 3 of the top 4 guys in hits.
You want to know where Julio Teheran's next start is?
Oh, Colorado, huh? On to play, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Colorado leads Cleveland 1-0. That game's in the 9th.
Well, the way things are going for Julio here, this might be one of the few times he'll look forward to pitching in Colorado.
Another comebacker. Boy, Eflin has been busy, hasn't he? He's gotten Phillips. He just got Inciarte. He's gotten Phillips twice, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, he's made a couple nice plays. Another one here.
Man.
So that took away a hit. Here's Brandon. 0 for 2. Rockies are the only remaining National League team the Braves have yet to see.
Well, we're going to have a home and home with them, much like we typically have with Pittsburgh or Milwaukee at the beginning of the year, where we say goodbye to them in like the first week of May.
Wouldn't you rather see them at the beginning of the year, though, than this time of year? With so many innings logged, this is a tired time of the year for your pitching staff to have to go there for 4 games. Well, that's a tough challenge for anybody.
Just hope their pitchers are tired too.
Well, tonight it's Germán Marquez and Corey Kluber.
Boy, Marquez has been outstanding.
Brandon pops one up right side. Joseph right behind the bag at first, handles that one without incident. 2 away.
Do you think when, you know, as a former catcher, when Joseph gets those pop-ups, he wants to tear his hat off?
I wish he would, just once for fun. Wouldn't it be great? He's a remarkable story. He was always thought of as a terrific hitter, but concussions almost ended his career. And he was off the 40-man roster. He was there for the taking for anyone. And he's moved into first base, and they found a guy that's pretty dependable. 16 homers, 50+ RBIs.
And serviceable at first base.
Shift on for Freeman, who launches left side out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike.
How would you pitch Freddie, Tom?
Carefully. I mean, probably like I did most lefties. Try to stay down and away, but obviously with him, he's got such coverage away, you got to keep him honest in. Probably throw him some changeups in.
He hooked that one into the shift, and from an E, Galvis fires to first. Braves are out again, 3 up, 3 down. We head to the 7th.
5-1 heading to the 7th. It's time for an Xfinity game break. Chip just mentioned Charlie Blackmon a minute ago. I want to show you what he did at the top of the first in Cleveland against Corey Kluber. His 26th of the season, the 100th home run of the former Georgia Tech star's career. However, Kluber has been fantastic since then, allowing only 3 hits. But Marquez in the bullpen making it hold up. Rockies on top of the Indians now, still 1-0 in the 9th. Chip, Joe, and Tom.
Thank you, Jerome. Not too many 1-0 games in the history of the Colorado Rockies, home or road.
Or those two teams.
Yeah.
Boy, what pitching tonight.
That's a big game for Colorado. They are in a virtual tie with the Arizona Diamondbacks for the top wild card spot in the National League. Cleveland with a 3-game lead atop the AL Central. Here's Luke Jackson. He's the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Braves. He'll have the 4, 5, and 6 hitters coming up in the Phillies 7th.
Had a rough. Well, he didn't have a rough outing because Vizcaino came in and saved the day for him against the Dodgers. Or excuse me, against Miami on August 5th. He gave up 3 hits in 1/3 of an inning, and then Vizcaino got out of it without allowing a run.
Franco tied the game in the 5th with a single. He's 1 for 3. He's also scored a run. So he'll take a 5-game hitting streak into tomorrow's game against Sean Newcomb. Jared Eichhoff will pitch for the Phillies. As we said, we'll hit the road. We go to St. Louis in Colorado. And then the Braves will rejoin you here at SunTrust Park Friday night, August 18th, with Cincinnati in town. Nice long homestand for the Braves. The Reds, the Mariners, and the Rockies. To short. Jace got a tricky hop, but he stayed with it, made a strong throw, and Franco's retired 1 away in the 7th. So here's a double Herrera. He's 1 for 2. He scored a couple of runs. He's stolen a base and has hit one of the more remarkable home runs in this ballpark. It was a left-handed, what would you guess, 7-iron?
9-iron.
And into the chop house on the fly for Herrera, his 12th home run and 5th against the Braves. I mean, Joe, was this a drop the barrel type swing?
That's all it was. And he's very strong. If he had put it in play, it would have been amazing.
Yes.
So it found the sweet spot. Maybe landed in somebody's dessert to boot. It was a back-breaking home run on an 0-2 pitch that has sealed the fate of Julio Teheran to this point. Jace slides and can't get it out of his glove. Luke Jackson has a yard sale working. He tried to flip the glove out and stop the baseball. The glove flipped over his head and ended up at the first baseline. Check this out.
He was trying to go backhand on it.
That's Charlie Brown stuff, isn't it?
Nice try by Jace. Herrera's been on base 3 times.
That's foul at third. Joseph 0 for his last 14, including a 0 for 3 tonight. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again to first. Runner goes, swing and a miss, and Suzuki dropped it. So a 2 stolen base night for Herrera.
That last start by Julio in Philadelphia, they got their first run, if you remember, when Galvis, I'm not sure if he walked, doesn't matter how he got on, but he stole second, stole third, drew a throw from Suzuki that went into left field.
Yep.
So they've been running on Atlanta a lot.
Little flare into shallow center. Ender's coming on. Diving, sliding catch. Great play.
Odubel Herrera is not known for his base running. He pretty much hears the ball hit and he takes off, and he almost did here, but he had the presence of mind to wait and see if another outstanding center fielder would run it down, and he did.
He did. It was a good play. Got a good jump on it. Nice play.
One more man to get. It's Nick Williams, who doubled home a run for the Phillies in the 4th. That tied the game at 1 apiece. He's also walked and struck out. 0-1. Herrera's got a good lead at second, and a high hopper hit toward the mound. Nice play. Jackson beats his man to the bag, and that takes care of Williams and the Phillies in the 7th. Good play by Ender in center. Good play by Luke Jackson to take away an infield hit try by Nick Williams. Time for the 7th inning stretch. It's still Phillies 5, Braves 1. Atlanta from our Xfinity Cam, a live look in for game 1 of our 2-game series between the Braves and the Phillies. It's been all Philadelphia, all Zach Eflin, who has continued his mastery over the Braves so far. He's got 6 innings of 1-run baseball. to this point. Well, hopefully the man in the batter's box will change that. For Nick Markakis, our Zaxby's indescribably good player, has had good luck against the Phillies.
You like that 10 RBI number in 9 games. Very high numbers in all those other categories. It's average at 280 coming in.
Two balls, no strikes. This year, Zach Eflin, including his work at AAA, has pitched more than 6 innings 4 times. And he just walked Nick Markakis on 4 pitches to start the inning. So perhaps a little fatigue might be an issue for Bob McClure and the Phillies. They're going to get their bullpen to work here in the 7th inning. Braves, as you know, have been a great comeback club all year.
It's hard to figure that he's the same guy that was his last 5 starts in the big leagues. He was giving up a batting average of .407 before he was sent down. But that's his line tonight.
His last 3 starts against Texas, Colorado, and Cincinnati totaled 15 innings. Gave up 22 earned runs and 7 homers.
I'm gonna guess that he, in those games, wasn't locating his fastball the way he has been tonight, and had a pretty good breaking ball to go with it.
The scary thing for the Phillies is the Braves are still very much in this game, in this park, and with their great ability to score late inning runs. Braves have been one of the highest scoring, if not the highest scoring, from the 7th inning on in the league. And they have 16 last at bat victories. So as I've said a couple of times, they may not always win, but they often give you a finish. One ball, 2 strikes with Markakis at first. And a base hit to left. So a 4-pitch walk, a broken bat single on a 1-2 count. The Braves are in business. And here we go in the 7th inning.
That didn't look like a bad pitch that Kurt covered. Again, one maybe a little off the plate. Look at Cameron Rupp and his reaction. Wasn't a big,
not
big
a bad
breaker.
pitch, little flat, didn't have that finish to it, so Kurt was able to stay on it a little bit, but good piece of hitting.
Here's Adams, 2 on, nobody out. Fly ball headed for the gap. That ball's going to get down for a hit. Here comes Markakis around to score. It's 5-2. That's the 193rd run scored by the Braves from the 7th inning on. That's the 3rd highest total in the major leagues. And now they bring the tying run to the plate in the 7th with nobody out.
Another pitch away, but it was up. And it's nice to see a rally like this to me, Chip, because the Braves have hit 11 home runs against the Phillies this year. 8 of them are solo, but about 34% of the runs they've scored against the Phillies have come from homers. So this is a nice rally so far without a homer.
Well, and the rare opportunities to swing the bats with a runner in scoring position tonight, they're 1 for 2, which from a percentage standpoint is a dramatic improvement over what we saw up in Philadelphia. So give Adams a 2-hit night and 50 RBIs. Jace Peterson, you'll recall, checked in before a pitch was thrown tonight after Johan Camargo got hurt. Jace is 4 for his last 5 at the plate. And took a strike. And Ozzie Albies next. Then the pitcher's spot. Here it comes. And a good cut, fouled back. Remember, the Braves bench a man short. When Camargo got hurt, Peterson pressed into service, so the Braves have Danny Santana and Tyler Flowers left in a pinch hitting spot.
Braves had Max Fried up. Jim Johnson has joined him.
Good eye there. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's lifted to the left side, and Nava won't have a play. One ball, 2 strikes.
I'd like to see something down and into Jace right here. Have him rake it real hard right over the top of Hernandez's head into right center.
Fly ball center, but Herrera is going to catch it. No advance. Peterson's the first out of the inning. Here's Ozzie Albies, who has a 5th inning single tonight. We saw some opposite field power from Albies in the final game against Miami. He didn't hit a home run, but he drove the ball to that 385 sign in left, and to the Equifax sign in left center against the Fish. See if he can turn something around and lift it over the wall and right and get it tied. Little pop, shallow right. Out goes Hernandez. In comes Williams. And that's the 2nd out of the inning. And it looks like it'll be Danny Santana coming on to hit for Luke Jackson. Jackson went an inning, allowing a hit and zeros across. Braves bench has done a terrific job. That was a big question mark coming out of Orlando this spring. Santana's been a nice addition. He's 5 for 26 in a pinch, including a homer. And he's tied for 2nd on the club in pinch hit RBIs. Lane Adams, the Braves pinch hit RBI leader. He's got 9. back to the mound. That has been a recurring theme for Eflin. He has made big pitches in that situation when he's needed them. He gives up a leadoff walk and a second Atlanta run, and that's all the Braves get. 5-2 is your score. Let's send it out to Jerome Jurinovich with tonight's big story.
Okay, thank you, Chip. The big story, of course, is the unfortunate injury suffered by Johan Camargo at the very beginning of the game. Skipping to go over the chalk, and he awkwardly lands on his knee. As you could see, originally everybody was laughing and joking until they realized they had to carry him off the field. MRI will be taking place tonight. This reminds you, Brian Jordan, the old Arizona Cardinals kicker Bill Gramatica jumped up in the air after a kick came down, tore his ACL. Kendrys Morales, an ankle injury jumping on home plate. He was out almost 2 years. Now, we hope for the best for this young man who has had a sensational second half of the season. You saw the numbers since early July. Looks like he's going to be a bona fide hero, bona fide star with this club.
Right.
When you look at, have you ever seen anything so crazy in your life?
You know what? I've seen it before. It's very unfortunate. I've seen guys get up from that, though, and it was, you know, a comical situation, but it's very unfortunate for Camargo. You know, it looked like he really hyperextended that knee, and I'm hoping it's just a hyperextension. I know they're going to do an MRI tonight, but you know what? When he's not getting up and you see two guys carrying him off, I think it could be a little more than that, Jerome, and I'm hoping for this kid because he's come up and surprised a lot of people and played very well. So hopefully that injury is not too bad because that would be a sore spot for the Braves.
We will wait before judging it until we hear the results of that test, Chip, Joe, and Tom, and we wish for the best for Johan.
Yeah, that's a huge story tonight, Jerome. We wish Johan the best. Hopefully the Braves will get some good news. That's one of the big stories as we head to the 8th inning. The other one is taking place on the SunTrust Park mound right now. Max Fried is about to make, fellas, his major league debut. The Braves have been talking about this kid for quite some time, and here he is pitching in relief in a 3-run Phillies game.
It's not often you acquire a player in a trade that's coming off Tommy John surgery, but that's the way it was with Max Fried when they got him from the Padres in the Justin Upton deal. And while his numbers this year aren't going to knock your socks off at Mississippi, his last 3 starts he did not give up an earned run. They are very high on him.
Yeah, another one of these are those big arms, so to speak, in the organization that the Braves are stockpiling, and we've seen a number of them and see another one here right now. This is his opportunity to go out there and show what he can do, and I know a lot of eyes will be on him right now.
Well, he's had to sit and wait and watch for a while, hasn't he? August 5th was when he was called up. And Fried really opened some eyes in spring training as Cameron Rupp takes a 94-mile-an-hour fastball up and away. Fried came in to face the Detroit Tigers, and that ball is going to be thrown out of play. The first major league pitch for Max will be a souvenir for him. He faced the heart of the Tigers order down in Orlando and went through Justin Upton, Miguel Cabrera, and Victor Martinez. And Brian Snitker just sat back and said, not bad for a seemingly innocent or unimportant spring training outing. It opened some eyes, and here he is. And he's gone 3-0 to Cameron Rupp. All right, Tommy, every time we have a left-handed guy making his debut, we say, okay, do you remember your first game? What's going through Fried's mind here after sitting around for 3-4 days waiting for your first crack at big league action?
Nervousness, anxiousness, all that. Like I said, it's a little tough that he's had to sit around. I mean, it's not for a reliever. It's not typical where you sit around for a few days. They typically find a spot to get these guys in as quick as they can, but that hasn't worked out that way. So I'm sure there's a little bit more anxiety than normal for normal guys, but just like everybody else, you got to find a way to relax, calm down a little bit, and go out there and trust yourself.
Cameron Perkins is going to pinch hit for Eflin, who pitched 7 terrific innings tonight, allowing just 2 runs. And the key to his night, only 1 walk. There's a strike for Max, who's 6'4", 185 pounds.
23 years old, out of Santa Monica, California.
Just missed. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He was the 7th player taken in the draft in 2012 by San Diego.
The Braves got Max Fried with Jace Peterson, with outfielder Dustin Peterson, with outfielder Malik Smith for Justin Upton and Aaron Northcraft before the 2015 season. And there's a strike. A beauty. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Cameron Perkins is the first strikeout victim for Max Fried. Another souvenir for the Braves' young left-hander.
Big hook. And I'm glad Kurt Suzuki called time before he threw that out, so he didn't do a Charlie Leibrandt. I know you were there for that, but that was against the Phillies.
I was in Philly, yeah.
At the vet. Charlie had a runner on base, and I think it was his 1,000th career strikeout. Threw the ball into the dugout, but forgot to call time.
Did he really?
Yes.
Oh, no. 2-0. Moments like these are what as this one's back to the mound. Fried will fire to first in time. He gets Cesar Hernandez for the second out. And he threw a fastball right at Freddie Freeman, who gave a thumbs up to Mickey Morandini as he checked out the arm. But moments like this are what make a season like this so much fun and so exciting. It's a glimpse of the present and what we hope is the promise of a bright future for guys like Fried and Albies and Camargo and Sims and Sean Newcomb. This is what the Braves have promised for the last couple of years. The pain of going through these losing seasons at the major league level to rebuild the farm system and stock it with young talent. Well, that talent's starting to get here.
Yeah, I mean, it's never fun going through a year like this, but you know, the flip side is you're going to see guys that are going to get an opportunity, and they're going to get an opportunity to show what they can do, and you know, all in an effort to see where they place and how they place for the team next year and moving forward. So this is an exciting time for them.
And we don't know what the composition of the Braves roster will look like in September when the rosters can expand. The Braves do have some 40-man roster issues, a good problem to have. They have a lot of really good players that they have to worry about keeping protected before the Rule 5 or the minor league drafts take place. As that one's cut on and missed at 92.
I think it's similar to when the young guys got called up, like Francoeur and McCann out of Double-A. I think it sends a message to the guys in the minor league system that, hey, you better be on your game because we could tap you at any time to come up here when we need you. It's great incentive.
1-2 pitch with 2 outs. And it's poked towards second. Albies has it. Fires to first in time. And Max Fried has a scoreless debut inning in the big leagues. Welcome to the show, young man. Nicely done. We hope it's a very long and productive stay.
Phillies lead the Braves 5-2 at the bottom of the 8th inning. Top of the order due up for the Braves. But let's check out some other league action going on with our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break. Checking out what Bryce Harper could do because, man, we see him way too much. Versus the Marlins last night, hitting his 150th career home run. Mike Trout last night versus the Orioles had his 1,000th career hit. And Dexter Fowler removed from the 10-day DL for the Cardinals. Now some fun facts, Chip, Joe, and Tom. Mike Trout hit his home run last night on his 26th birthday. He has 4 home runs on his birthday. His 21st birthday, 22nd, 24th, and 26th. So it's a tradition. And Bryce Harper, with his 150th career home run, he hit that at 24 years and 295 days old. Mike Trout did the exact same thing last year in 2016 for his 150th career home run.
Ought to be 25 again, Kelsey. Or 24. Yeah. Take your pick. Either one would work.
Any 20 would be all right.
Yeah, right. Yeah, 2 special players, Mike Trout and Bryce Harper. As Ender Inciarte leads off the Atlanta 8th. This is Hobie Milner, who gave the Braves some fits up in Philadelphia, especially to Freddie Freeman. He struck him out twice. 5-2 game. Braves have 6 outs left. And he didn't mean to. That's in the Phillies dugout. Foul. Colorado got beat tonight. I'm guessing it was a grand slam that walked them off. They led 1-0 in the 9th inning. They had 2 outs and the lead, and Cleveland has a 4 spot to make it a 4-1 final. The 1-2. Frisbee's up there and missed. Across the shoe tops, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He was working Freddie away with that pitch more than in. You have to be really patient and wait as long as you can, just like Ender did there.
A walk would be nice.
Need base runners anyway.
Smack towards center, but Herrera was there. Ender hit it hard, but he's out number 1. Tonight's 0 for 3 is a real rarity for Brandon Phillips against the Phillies, as you see on our Georgia Lottery feature.
Like Nick, good numbers against them. 400 average. Good slugging percentage. Brandon's playing well.
Made a couple of nice plays at third base as well tonight. He'll try to get on in front of Freddie Freeman, who homered in the first inning for the Braves. Braves are in danger of falling to 2-10 this year against the Phillies.
They have 3 wins against the Dodgers.
That's the great thing or maddening thing, depending on your perspective about this sport. Tommy, you mentioned it in our opening comments. Anybody can beat anybody else on any given day.
Yeah, you just don't ever know, and you don't know matchups wise why things work or don't work. It's just can't figure it out.
Well, the Phillies haven't given trouble to just the Braves in the division. They're 2 games over 500 against the East, which means they're 19-50 against the rest of Major League Baseball. Depending on the outcome of this game tonight. A little hopper towards second. Hernandez charges, fires, and threw wide at first. So Brandon Phillips legs out an infield hit. And And that gives the Braves another opportunity to draw closer with Freddie Freeman coming up.
Well, he bounced one that finally got over the pitcher's head.
Yeah.
Eflin had been catching everything else.
Well, this is the matchup that we hope turns out better than it did up in Philly. I can see how this guy, Joe, would be a real uncomfortable at bat for a left-hand hitter.
Well, especially if he's going to throw one up under your chin. You know, Freddie was thinking middle away on this guy because that's how he got him in Philly. Almost walked into one.
That one's popped up. Long run Milner. Rupp also gives chase, but it bounces on top of the Phillies dugout. Freddie was 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts against the Phillies reliever.
Those were two four-seam fastballs. As much as he can throw a four-seam fastball, up and in and up again. No breaking ball yet. Up again, and that's right where Rupp wanted it.
Milner was originally Phillies property. The Indians took him in the Rule 5 draft. And then he was returned to the Phillies on March 24th. He went back to Lehigh Valley and pitched great there. Got the call up when John Mark Gomez was designated for assignment. And he missed again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good eye, full count. So things getting interesting here. Markakis next, then Suzuki.
They keep trying up there and he keeps spoiling it. Probably ball 4.
Tough to lay off. Maybe they'll make a mistake a little lower.
Oh man, I don't like those. Not on Freddie. Too close to the hands.
The old get off me ball. And he fought it off and got out of harm's way. Another 3-2 count. Let's see if that sets up the outside corner. The 3-2 pitch. Bounce toward second. The flip to the third baseman covering and not in time. It was Galvis who handled that ground ball. And then the flip to Michael Franco for the 6-5 force out at second base. And Freeman was called safe at first. Looks like the Phillies are going to challenge this call.
Not too often that Franco gets to turn a double play or try to turn one, but he got rid of that one quickly.
So if you're the Phillies, why not? You've got the lead. Maybe you get something overturned and get out of the inning. At the very least, they've got 2 outs, a man at first, and Markakis up, and the call is confirmed. Freeman was safe.
Keeps the inning alive. See if the Braves can come through with some 2-out magic here. Tommy, ever since you pointed out to us how hard it is to make that high pitch on purpose, like they were trying to do to Freddie, I can't tell you how many times we've brought it up with mistakes that have been made that are in the zone, or, you know, between the belt and the letters, it gets ripped.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like I said, I mean, I don't, you know, I'm assuming guys practice a little bit doing it, but it's still, it goes against everything your mind is telling you when you get on the mound, which is to keep the ball down. You know, you can get away with it, I guess, a little bit more if you're a hard thrower, like most things, but you're a guy that's 88 to 92. You better be careful.
Yeah.
Ball into strike from Markakis. To short. And Galvis will make the long throw to first. And Hobie Milner continues his excellent work against the Braves in relief for the Phillies. We head to the ninth.
Atlanta Braves baseball is brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Let's go places. And SunTrust.
It's 5-2 Phillies after 8 in game 1 of our series here at SunTrust Park. And we invite you to join us at the ballpark where you can get your very own Hank Aaron replica statue brought to you by Delta Airlines on Friday, August 18th. The first 20,000 fans will take home their very own replica statue of baseball's home run king. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your tickets today. Max Fried out for another big league inning. Why not? He walked the leadoff man in the 8th and got a strikeout and 2 ground outs. And Daniel Nava, another one. This one right to Jace Peterson. A strike to first, gets the first out of the inning.
Jace has done a nice job tonight. Again, filling in for Camargo, who got hurt, taking the field to start the game. Lucas Giolito, a first-round pick by the Nationals, who's now with Chicago with the White Sox, was a high school teammate of Max Fried. Love his arm action.
I paused to make comparisons because I don't want to be unfair, but one name that I heard Fried compared to is younger Cole Hamels type. If it turns out that way, the Braves would be thrilled. About Cole Hamels and the great work he did with the Phillies. Now he's pitching with Texas. Two balls and a strike.
I feel like his arm action and what reminds me a little bit of Ave.
Really?
Yeah.
Driven toward right and right center. Ender on the run onto the track. He's got it. Franco hit it high and deep, but not high or deep enough. 2 outs.
Well, that right field wall comes up quick, doesn't it?
And here's Adubel Herrera, who's going to take his sweet time to get to the batter's box. You'd think he'd be racing up there after reaching 3 times, knocking in 2 with a homer, a walk, a steal, an infield hit, a steal, and 2 runs scored. And a 15-game hitting streak against the Braves, an 11-game hitting streak overall. Ball outside. That's hammered toward the right field corner, and that'll bounce up against the fence. And Herrera's on his way to second. He has had a big night. 3 hits for the Phillies. And that's the first big league hit Max Fried has allowed.
Single, a double, a homer, and a walk. A stolen base, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored, and he got a hanging breaking ball in the middle of the plate.
Yeah, just didn't have to finish. Stayed there, and he didn't miss it.
It's funny, that's the pitch you expect him to hit out of the ballpark.
Yeah, exactly.
Braves will walk Joseph intentionally and go after Nick Williams, lefty versus lefty.
I know Max's family was coming in from California over the weekend, but I don't know if they got to stay through the off day and all that. Hopefully they're watching tonight, enjoying this.
Little tapper. Freeman will charge, and he will dive to the bag, not in time. Throw to the plate, and that is in time. Great heads-up play by Freddie Freeman. He dived at the bag trying to get Williams. Herrera, with 2 outs, kept rolling around third base, and from his knees, Freeman threw a strike to the plate to get his man.
This is a great presence of mind play by Freddie to remember that there's another runner. He's got a great arm and made a good throw from his knees.
Tag, and that ends the 9th. Plus, Fried jumped over Freeman. Freeman in the 9th inning after Williams reached on an infield hit. Boy, there was a lot of traffic at the first base bag.
Fried stepping over him. And a good throw and a good block by Suzuki.
Tell you what, it's an impressive throw from your knees, but across, when you got to go across your body like that too.
Yeah.
He didn't spin to his arm side. I mean, he went the other way, and He got a lot on that throw.
So many times, though, you'll see a guy make a play like that looking for the call from the umpire and forget about the other runners.
So that saves a run and gives the Braves a little bit more hope against Hector Neris, who's on to try to finish things off for Philadelphia. Neris 11 out of 14 in saves this year. Kurt Suzuki greets him first and takes downstairs. Eflin gave up 2 earned runs in 7 innings pitched. That has been the way things have gone for the Phillies in 10 of their last 11 starts. They had a bad one in Colorado when Nick Pivetta gave up 6 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings. You take that one away. Last 10 games, the Phillies starters 6-4, a 2.02 ERA. That's what the Braves ran into again tonight. Outside, ball 2. After the game tomorrow night, the Phillies will head home. They've got 4 games against the Mets, and then they have to get on the plane and go cross country again. One of the worst stretches of scheduling I think I've ever seen.
Oh, it's just horrible
for the Phillies, who started the month of August in LA against the Dodgers, then went to Colorado, came here to Atlanta, home for 4 with the Mets. They go to San Diego and San Francisco again. Just brutal. 3 balls and a strike, and Kurt didn't get it. Again, Atlanta 16 last at bat wins. Can they pull off a bunch of 9th inning magic tonight? They're down 3 and they have 3 outs left. Good cut. Braves bullpen did its job again tonight in great fashion. 4 more scoreless innings for the relief corps. The Braves to get 1 run back, but they need 3 more to get it tied. And something off speed, had Suzuki out in front. There's out number 1.
Tom, we just saw Max Fried there on the rail. I saw Luke Jackson on the rail earlier after he'd come out of the game. It used to be the pitchers, as soon as they were out of the game, they're going back to ice. And you don't see that anymore.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys don't do it. I mean, I don't know if guys aren't icing anymore or as much. I don't know, but yeah, you seem to see a little bit more of that now in today's game.
Tyler Flowers hitting for Max Fried. Danny Santana came in on a double switch after he pinch hit. Ground ball right side. Hernandez from the cut of the outfield grass handles that roller. 2 outs. And the Braves are an out away from falling to 2-10 to the Phillies. So it's up to Jace Peterson. And Brian Snitker will hopefully have an update for Kelsey in the Braves clubhouse when she gets post-game sound on the MRI for Johan Camargo. It did not look good when he had to be carried off the field, needless to say. And if he's going to miss any significant time, then Braves will have to make a roster move. We'll have to wait and see what that is. As Neris a strike away from his 12th save. And just missed. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
If you've ever done that before, it's as scary a feeling as it is painful. I mean, you just think you've broken your leg.
And a swing and a miss ends the ball game. The Phillies continue their mastery of the Braves tonight. 5-2 is the final score. Zach Eflin's first big league win came against the Braves last year. His first win in 2017 also comes against the Braves here in his debut at SunTrust Park. 5-2 Phillies win game one. We'll recap it for you right after the break.